do. Now notice the languaging. It was not that you're thinking of, it was tell her, Dennis, hi, come on in. Everybody, this is Dennis. We'll get to introductions in a bit. So Melissa said,
thanks to you guys.
Tell Ray about the school you're going to do. Now the languaging, because a lot of what we do a lot of times is that we talk in terms of maybe if, right? And we were adamant that this is absolutely going to happen. And Ray said, what do you think? And I said, I want it to look like a modern day version of Harry Potter's Hogwarts castle. Now all of you have heard me say that at one time or another. 3 days later, Ray calls me, and this is what he drew. I mean, it is absolutely... Come on, John, sit down.
Yes, it is.
So we'll
Catch yourself, I know, like, can't see.
and we just have Robin will come a little bit late, so we'll make room for Robin when she comes in. So the idea in 3 years has escalated so rapidly. So I started talking about this in 2000, right after my brother got through colon cancer, and we thought, you know, coast was clear. And I started talking to him about, I had been to this event, Melissa knows the CEO Space, which is, it is CEO Space. It was IDI when I went. And I thought how egocentric that they called it IBI. And so I came up with UBU. And it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it had so much more meaning to me. And so with Ultimate Business University, the name came to me as I was driving to Davis one day, Ultimate Business University. And it's the idea that all of our education has really failed our children in the last 20 years. When I graduated high school in 1968, 90% of everyone who graduated went to college. Graduated high school. 50% actually went on to college. Today, we have 60% of our kids graduating high school and only 30% going on to college. The real problem now is even if you go and get your 4-year degree, you cannot make up for the cost of college in the lifetime of your income. So it's really kind of a lost cause. So you can make more money going out of high school and starting a job than if you go to college and try to make that up. So we've really put ourselves in a vicarious situation. And I wanted to do something for these kids because my brother was adopted. All of you know the story. There's an audio story on ultimatebusinessunIV.com, the website. So if you have a chance and you want to go look at that, I wrote out the story and then I actually told it verbally on the site. And I wanted to have people realize that we have now 200,000 children living on the streets in the United States without adult supervision, and they're under 19 years old. And this is something that has always disturbed me because most of you know my family life was not the greatest, but at least I stayed in the house and I had a roof over my head and I had food and, you know, I had some guidance. And think about how bad this has to be for all these kids who are living on the streets. They have no one to tell them, you know, how to get your next meal. And so I started talking to some judges, and I said, well, what would happen if I actually said to you that there's an alternative to juvenile hall? And I'm not talking about kids that are committing murder or doing any major crime. What I'm looking at is talking about kids that are first, second-time offenders, shoplifting, breaking and entry because they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. So that's what we're looking at. So I am so excited because I don't know why I didn't do this before, but all of you are playing a major role in what's going to happen. Now, the last few months, Lino, Ray, and Rick and I have met almost every week with the plans and the details. And honestly, my head was going dizzy for figures of how many chickens, because how many people, and how many eggs do we need, and how many cows, and you know, how much milk do we need, and how many milk cows. And that's what I've been doing ever since January. So it was December 28th, I got the call from the investors. So the investors, and it's really kind of an odd thing, but a year ago May, I was meeting with this woman who